Hello, Rachel.
How are you?
I'm doing lovely. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm very glad to hear that. What's making you feel lovely?
Well, I'm feeling the love
Oh.
from you,
Mm.
from myself, from our lovely patrons that support the podcast, from our lovely listeners that listen to the podcast, and of course from the Lord, the most important. I'm kidding, of course, they're not important to me at all, but the rest are. But you need to answer. How are you doing?
Apprehensive.
What? Why? You wanted me to explain why I'm feeling lovely, and I went, oh. Now I'm hearing you're apprehensive, and I'm saying, oh. Why?
Such compassion. Well, a lot of things have been going wrong lately, and I'm just a bit nervous about what's coming.
How about we put your mind at ease and go through the usual format of Yum Yum Podcast? It is a comfort, it's reassuring. It gives newcomers context, which is for kings, and it gives the old-timers something to viciously press the 30-second skip button for. But what is happening here, Rachel? What is this all about?
Well, a while ago now, you decided that one podcast wasn't enough for you to do. You had to do more. So you asked me to start a podcast with you. And we'd had that idea for a while. And then we watched Star Trek Discovery. And we had a lot to say about it. For better and worse, we had a lot to say. And then we got to the end of the second season, and there was a line that was delivered, and you decided, that's it. That's what we've got to name the podcast. And that line was...
Yum, yum. It was a strange line. It came out of nowhere. It was absurd. It was funny. It was sexual. It was bad. And yet, here we are today, all of these years later. It was a definitive moment
of Discovery, which was the first show that we covered, and we'd both watched it before, and we rewatched the episode for that coverage. The Expanse is quite different in that neither of us have seen the whole show before, and we're recording these after watching them for the first time.
This is all new to us. We are going through season 4 right now, haven't seen a single episode beyond what we are now talking about. We aren't ahead unless you come on over to the Patreon, because if you're hearing this on the main feed, well, you're behind, because we release these on our Patreon first, and if you support the podcast, you get access to those, of course, way ahead of time, as well as get to be a part of our group Discord and get a whole, a bounty of material that just doesn't make it to the main feed.
And I want to put here a specific congratulations for those of you who have been skipping and on the Patreon and still get to hear this.
Thank you for getting to hear this. And as Rachel said, congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you.
Just a thank you to everybody who listened through that spiel. But a specific congratulations to those who have landed right at the tail end.
Congratulations! 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 Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations! Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
It is now time to stop congratulating everyone and ourselves and start to dig into the episode that we watched. And the episode is season 4, episode 6, Displacement.
Yeah, that was the title that I gave at the end of the last episode. And now we get to hear what the Blu-rays / IMDb offers up as their description of this episode. What is it, Ryan?
The Rossi crew prepares for an incoming disaster on Illis. Ashford and Drummer close in on an enemy within the belt. Bobby takes on a dangerous job.
Like, then it's not wrong, but it feels misleading.
It's certainly something.
Like, it feels like it's
It doesn't feel
focusing on the wrong thing, I guess, but
I'll tell you what it is. It doesn't feel very exciting. None of those.
this episode isn't very exciting.
Well, you speak for yourself. I will speak for myself.
Well,
but we have something.
There was a little something.
There was a little something.
And we'll get to it because now we've done that part. We get to do the real unique thing that Yum Yum Podcast offers up, which is with the Expanse, we look at what moment was Yum Yum, made us feel Yum Yum, which we tend to focus in on the hornier moments of the Expanse.
They do exist.
But this show's getting drier and drier, man. Like,
Or
we've gone from 0G sex to me getting excited that there's a kiss on screen. Like, what's happening here?
don't you lie. Don't you be a liar. Because in episode 6 of season 4, you were excited that Bobby had a cool bra. And that was my horny moment. Bobby had a bra that we got to see. She was zipping up her top because she just got laid. Did we see it? Of course not.
We
because
see
we're
him
beyond
shirtless, which was my non-Amos pick.
There you go. And my pick, of course, is we get some Bobby boobies.
Bobby boobies?
Some Bobby boobies. Not real boobies, just boobies in a, as Rachel had said when we watched it, that's a nice bra. and my
It's
and
like
my
it's
boner,
got like a crisscross
yes, and my boner went down because I was also observing. Oh, that is a cool bra. It's very cool. I wonder if it feels nice support wise, or if it's just one of those. It looks cool. What do you think, Rachel? As a Brahmin,
it's probably more supportive because it does look like it's giving her a level of compression and sport. It's very sports bra.
Bobby only wears gym clothes.
Yeah, she does. She's just wearing like leggings, or like they're like a weird kind of.
She's wearing
pant.
tracksuit basically, and then
Yeah.
she's on a run.
Yeah,
Bobby's running in this episode.
Yeah, she does. She does look like that.
She's sprinting to the Yum Yum, and you have an automatic Amos pick to give us, in which you have to flag up what about Amos was particularly Yum Yum and arousing to you, the person who objectifies him.
This episode, but it is not sexy.
It's funny.
It's funny, yes. So I was just like, damn it, like there's not really a strong contender. And then my fallback position is what made me go, I love you, Amos. Even if it's not in a completely, like, horny way, it's like I'm satisfied with his character.
Okay.
Because that is a part of what attracts me to Amos. It's not just the physical.
It's the spiritual, the philosophical. It's because he's a deep character.
It's got layers.
It's not because of the six-pack.
It's not purely for the objectification.
It's not because when he takes his shirt off, he has that defined V that goes down to the dick. It's not that at all.
Again, I would be horrified.
How dare you think that
if anybody
Rachel thinks
actually
that
for
of Wes
production
Chatham?
heard
How dare
this.
you? She loves him for his mind.
Please let him
So
never
what was
hear
it?
this.
What was it? Please listen.
It was him shooting the gun and saying, Cap's got something important to say.
That is an option for you. Now, you were chomping at the bit to tell us your thoughts on Displacement. So please, tell us all in grand detail what about this episode did and didn't work for you. Your general overview. We have finished
I thought
watching...
we were done with setup. I thought we were done with setup. We're over halfway through the fucking season and they're still playing set up. And I want to be done. I want to be done. I want to be done.
Rachel is so passionate about setup. She loves it.
I want it to be over.
Why, Rachel?
Because it's boring, Ryan.
Is setup...
It's boring.
Rachel, attention.
No.
Is set... You're an English teacher. You know about the structure of writing. Is setup inherently boring? Or is it about how this series is handling
It's about
it?
how it's paced. It's about how it's paced. And at the moment, I feel like we are stuck in rising action. And there's, like, traditionally, there's some relief of tension. And I see where that is meant to be. Like, we had that little arc of Naomi not... Her heart was letting her down. And she gets off the Rossi, right? She's had that mini arc.
Mm-hmm. What an arc. What an arc it was. It came and then it went.
And then it went. And, the missing daughter. She went missing. She's been found.
Hey, they had this setup of why she went missing,
Mm-hmm.
which is she wants to go to university.
We have the patterns there. But the bigger scale stuff, we just keep on getting problem after problem after problem after problem. And feels like there's no end in sight. And there is a lack of tension because I don't believe that there will be harm done to these characters.
Okay.
Are they going to get stuck? Yes. Are they going to die? Don't think so.
Some will, some won't.
I'm talking about two members of the Rossi crew left there. And I feel like Murtry's also pretty safe because he needs to be there to create conflict and drama.
Okay.
Because if he's not there, then the other, his underlings, most of them would fall in line under Holden, and the Belters would be fine to work with them. If they agreed. So he needs to be there. He needs to be there for his function.
Don't forget, he also just has one of those faces that makes him look like a bad man. A burn man, a burn gore man. I am fresh off of the episode, and I have so many...
And I'm not?
And I have so many feelings about it. So many feelings about it. And all of them exist in the same ballpark, which is a disappointment, because there are great episodes and there are bad episodes where I have a diversity of, mixture of, positive and negatives and, this. I hated this episode. Without a doubt, this is, with no exaggeration,
so bland.
My least favorite episode of the series. Because I have nothing gained here. Emotionally, philosophically, heck, even plot-wise. Yes, things moved forward, but I had no care about it. And midway through, I had this giggle to myself. I had a chuckle. I was writing notes, and during one of Bobby's scenes where a thing happened, I wrote in my notes as just like a quick shorthand for what was going on, a series of tasks. And that made me giggle because that's what this episode was. It's a series of tasks, a series of problems. It is It is a checklist. Yum Yum, of course. All I saw was a checklist.
You never let me take the shortcut.
I didn't even see a script. I didn't even see that level of writership here. All I saw was
the cue cards on
the board and them scrambling for reasons to prolong the story, to drag it out. We have had conversations with people on our Discord about this season, what people think of it, without getting into spoilers, of course, and about the book. And one of the major defenses I have heard is that it's only 10 episodes this season. If it was 13, maybe we'd have more time to breathe. I disagree, because here's the thing. They have all the fucking time in the world right now, and they're doing jack shit. And what I mean by that is
about how you use it.
There's no character stuff in this episode that I want to even discuss. Even though it's there, it feels as if it's an obligation rather than a necessity, a need, or desire, or just a given. I was thinking back to the ring space incidents in season 3 and how, yes, there was all of this progression of the big stakes and plot, but you know what filled that out? Wonderful character scenes. Anna giving a eulogy for a man that she didn't know, and yet she felt a lifetime's worth of guilt about not talking to him. This episode, Displacement, I was shocked at how I had no investment. I cared about nothing. I am heated right now because I'm on a podcast with a microphone in front of me and we're bickering back and forth about the same thing. We're in agreement here. But honestly, this is the worst type of episode because it's flat out boring. And nothing about it truly offended me. Nothing about it truly excited me. It's all functional, as you like to say, but it's tepid. It's so lifeless. We are over halfway through the season now. And I don't care about it still being set up. What I care about is having a motivation to keep watching.
I'm done.
All of the stuff I've said previously about character stuff, I'm not going to negate, because there's been well-written scenes and moments and even plot beats of season 4, but I think a lot of it is riding off the goodwill of the previous seasons.
Yeah, that was the point that I was going to make to follow that up. It feels like what's good about the characterization is relying on work that was done in previous seasons. Like the great monologue that Naomi originally had about her son. That's what props up her talking to the med tech about her son again. And that's what made it, not that moment.
Yeah, and I still think there's been really well done scenes and character beats and moments within the season, but we kick it all off. Illis is fucked up. The island has exploded, and we're going to have to watch...
The theory is that it's a reactor.
A reactor that went off.
It's going to cause a earthquake and then a tsunami.
And we're going to have the story in space and the story on the ground. And when we were cutting to the ground and we were seeing Holden try and...
wrangle and herd cats.
I had this profound realization that I'm giving this a lot more of my investment because I've known Holden for 3 seasons. But this is fucking damning. I'm going to say this, and people, please get mad at me. Please write in the comments, fuck you, Ryan. But if you know Babylon 5, there's a character called Warren Keffer who exists. And all he does is to serve an end, which is he witnesses the evil aliens and sends off a recording and it changes everything. But if you replaced him with a satellite or a probe, nothing would change. And that's how I feel so much about this season, where what about the Illus plot has really brought out that vigor we love of Jim Holden's character? Not too much. Again, it feels like we've been giving a lot more credence to it because we like him as a character and they have the occasional moment where they touch upon things. But in this episode, all I saw was Stephen Strait running around and that was it.
I saw him acting.
He was he was doing a good job performing, but it's a thankless episode for him.
Because we're seeing and feeling the cogs so much more. I'm seeing it even with him. Like, when I just chuckled to myself when he looks out the window at the oncoming dust storm from the earthquake, and he has an oh shit face. And I'm like, he had no idea what he was looking at.
He tried.
No idea whatsoever. He's tried real hard, but
but you get the point that although we like Amos and although we like Holden and Naomi and so on and so on and so on, do you actually feel like their characters are making this story worth the adventure in the first place?
No, it feels like they're there because Abasalara sent them.
They're there because they're the main characters of the show?
Yeah, they're there because they're there because they're there.
I keep coming back to this image in my brain of a cake, right? You're making a cake and you're going to put icing on the cake, right?
Yeah.
And that's extra stuff. You don't need it, but it's nice to have.
It changes the flavor of the cake.
I keep thinking that this icing is those wonderful little character scenes. Like what we got in the previous episode. There were so many of those. But the cake is just the tin. It's not even, it's like you forgot to bake the cake. It's like, oh, I took a tin out of the oven and I just put frosting and all that on top of it. There's nothing there. I don't care.
Substance.
There's no, okay, Illus. It explodes this island. It's going to send out a shockwave and an earthquake and a tsunami. And the story on the ground is that Holden must get all of these different factions and groups and so on to pull their heads in and hunker down and perhaps survive this.
They'll only survive if they work together.
They will only survive if they work together. And as a plot, that should be really compelling, especially if you're a fan of The Expanse, where we see so many times on a macro level this idea of people who
we touch
refuse
base with that with the OPA and the UN this episode.
And to have it on this more miniature level where it's just these three different groups on one planet and they must band together to save the day and save each other should be great. And yet,
on paper, but in execution, not so much.
You mentioned in some of your conversation pieces that the daughter that was missing is back. She's alive.
Oh, and she's in danger in a different way now, and I don't give a fuck.
Because it's as rudimentary as you said, and as I said, they set up, they said, she has dreams and wants to go to university. Then she disappears. Where could she be? Oh, she's on a ship so that she can leave and go to university. Oh no, the ship is fucked up and it's going to eventually crash on the planet. And it's so hard to express how uninteresting all of this is, because as I just say it like that, you could at home nod along going, that's a valid plot. That sounds like a valid journey of things. Like, you can conjure up those scenes, and perhaps if you're watching along with us, you've seen those scenes and you like them. That's fine. I good for you, but I can't get past how hollow it is, because what do you want to say about it?
Nothing.
What do you want to say about the daughter survives? Okay, here's one thing.
Oh, she guilt trips her mum like a little bitch and then hangs up.
But is she wrong to?
No, like, the way that she did it is just like a bratty teenager. But it makes sense.
It's a valid mode of anger. Yes, she's acting like a bratty teenager because she is, but that's also the issue at hand. She wants to be an adult. She wants to break free. She wants to become her own woman, but her mother has been forcing her to abide by this way of life because she knows what's best and she knows what's right and wrong. And now it's been revealed that the mother does not know best and does not know what's right from wrong. And she has done heinous things and has made everything worse for the colony and for this family unit. So the daughter being pissed off here, completely right. Good for her. I was on her side, even though I know about the mother's reasonings and her story and what she's gone through.
We saw that last episode.
That's good. No, I mean, like, I'm clicking because it's like, yes, here, that's cooking. That's good drama. Like, that is interesting interpersonal conflicts, because I do feel for both sides of this. Because
you understand why both of them did what they did. And if it was a worse show, you wouldn't have that.
And that is, although in this little thread of something we don't really have much of a care for, there has been, at least that dramatic conceit has some life to it. But is it enough? Is it enough?
No. I should care. I care so much still care so much about Prax.
I was thinking about Prax too.
He fulfilled a similar role in the script, but I gave a shit.
I never met anyone to get hurt. I'm not...
All your talk about keeping their family together only this, and you're the one that ran away. At least I didn't kill anyone first.
I almost didn't include the daughter in my notes, but then I went back and went, oh yeah, she's a thing that we have to worry about, because the ships above the planet, what's happened?
Are all out of action because fusion isn't working normally. Physics is out of whack. And Alex obviously blames the protomolecule. Because it definitely feels like it's a similar situation but obviously done in a different way, because it can't be the exact same as last season when they got held in stasis in the ring.
Good call. I forgot about that, but good call. No, like, it's a great one to think back on. And the episode didn't draw that, it didn't put the thread directly to that and said, hey, it's like when we're in ring space. Like, he just immediately is like, we the audience, something weird happened. It's that nasty blue goo again. Because isn't it always?
Isn't it always that nasty protomolecule? Just now it's green, maybe?
Oh, no, I think that's a different thing of infection with the eye. We'll get to the eye infection. The funniest plot in the entire series.
It's so
Rachel, hold on. We're still talking about the spaceships out of action.
It's so funny how many people
Rachel,
rub their eyes to dramatic
Rachel,
music.
hold on to the
My
eye.
God,
Hold
I
it on. Hold on to it.
I can't.
Hold on. We got to laugh about that later. We're too busy talking about why the ships are out of action.
The ships are out of action because the protomolecule doesn't want them to leave. So it's affecting all of these things in various ways, intentionally or not. So fusion isn't working in the ship, so they don't have fuel, so they're running off battery power. They can't send ships down because it burns up in the atmosphere, and it appears that the moon is melting.
Oh, that happens at some point too. Yes, they send a shuttle down and it disintegrates, it melts. It seems like there's some kind
Luckily,
of force
Mercury
field.
only sent one, so there's still
the option.
There's still the option. I guess the shuttle that he made into a bomb is wrecked because he did try and get the belters on that.
Yes, he did. You went through a lot there. A lot to soak in. Can we just go through one beat of it? So the ships cannot go down because of what reason again? So the
it's
fusion
twofold.
Mm-hmm.
So their ships are fueled by a fusion reaction by fuel pellets.
Right.
And they realize that they think that there's a few bad pellets in a row and they think that that's weird. And then they realize that fusion isn't working like the physical reaction, the physics reaction isn't working correctly.
And that's
according to like expected standards.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're not getting more fuel, so they're on battery reserves. So, and they're all in orbit.
They don't have the speed to
They don't have the speed
keep up.
Speed to keep out of a decaying orbit, which is a long-term problem. And in the short term, it means that they don't have the power to send anything down to the planet.
And you
as well.
Yeah.
And then the atmosphere appears to have some kind of barrier around it, potentially as a consequence of this reactor, because there was an immense amount of heat that a shuttle that was sent down by Mercury's people burns up. It disintegrates more like a comet.
Yes,
than a shuttle.
You said the phrase that the proto-molecule doesn't want them to go down or want them to leave. Something along those lines. And I think that's so interesting as a concept that they are beginning to personify and vilify this piece of tech. Mm-hmm. That it doesn't want them to interfere. It wants to keep them there. It is a security measure, you would imagine.
Protecting itself is the assumption that we make.
But for them in the story, it's just another thing to go wrong with this piece of alien technology, and it's a new wrinkle on it. But I can't help but replace the word proto-molecule with writer.
Yeah!
The writers.
Got it! Yay!
The writers don't want them to go down, and the writers don't want them to leave.
They're not done with New Terra.
When Naomi realized and Alex realized that they wouldn't be able to land, I threw my hands up in the air and shouted, "That's a way to keep this plot going." Gotta stretch it out, stretch it.
We're still going.
And again, if I did care more, this would be perfectly valid storytelling. This is how you make the stakes raise. This is how you prolong things. This is how you.
Like, oh,
I don't want it to be
cool.
easy for the characters.
So that's what we're doing now. But it feels like, oh, we're doing this now.
It does.
Okay.
It doesn't feel organic. It feels mechanical.
Forced.
It's very forced. Again, there's a way to make this flow perfectly fine, but I just couldn't help but see that it's the writers stamping their foot down on the ground saying, no, we can't let them leave yet because we've got a few more episodes to deal with.
They even did the orphan child.
Oh,
they do
fuck.
the orphaned child, and it feels like it was written for a smaller kid than they cast.
Yeah.
Because, dang it, he sounds like he's 5 and he looks older.
What I love about you, Rachel, is when an episode really riles you up, you will just spout out some random thing that annoyed you without any connectivity, and yet I know what you're talking about because I watched the episode. But like just shouting, they did the orphan child. They did the orphan child. I laugh because
we were talking about like they're doing a bunch of mechanical things
Cliched.
to propel this writing forward and to really showcase the disaster that happens to the colony just as a result of the earthquake before the tsunami hits. So it's just the start of the destruction. We have a child that's screaming out for mama and papa, and Holden finds them, and they're like, they got taken away by the wind. So we have an orphaned Ranger that Holden saves.
God, this episode's fucking shit. Like, that's a fucking piece of garbage writing right there. Like, I'm so mad, but also I'm not. Because when that went down, I didn't care enough to be mad. I took it on the face value as
because I was just like, they're doing dirty and cheap tricks.
They are doing dirty and cheap tricks, and I'm so
unnecessary.
And I'm so defeated that I didn't even raise an eyebrow at it. I didn't even put it in my notes. I took it at face value because why wouldn't they do that?
Oh, yes. Like, why wouldn't Holden be the last one down into the ruins?
He's our hero.
Why would they have more adequately prepared the thing to be pulled up? No, it's got to be that last second, that very last second.
We have to end on a cliffhanger. It has to be this way. This is the mandate. This is how TV works.
I should be down there with you.
It makes me feel better that you're not.
Same to you, Alex.
It was understood.
Holden talks to Mercury, and he brokers a deal with Mercury. But that deal is compromised and tainted because he brokered a deal with the Belters. The Belters want his endorsement. Doesn't even matter if it's backed by the UN or Christian. Holden has enough of notoriety that it would matter if he supported Ilus as a colony of the Belts. And he agrees because I want to move the fuck on because we're about to die. And so when he talks to Mercury about trying to better organize the relief to get the shuttles and the ships, Mercury, of course, is being a dickhead about it and says, I will help you for a price, of course, which is, give me all of their mining stuff, what they've mined, fuck the Belters, because you care about them enough to give them your backing. So how am I not going to get something out of this? So, and I won't help them. Fuck them, actually. And it was a nice scene because Holden basically describes what Mercury is, which is a killer. You're going to use your pleasantries and your words and your rationale and the power bestowed upon you to come across as noble and good, but all you're doing is killing them. Slowly, but you are going to kill them and all of us because that's what you are. And I like that as a confrontation between Holden and Mercury. This isn't Holden punches him in the face because we know that Mercury is physically weaker. But as someone who is a threat, he is ever present because he keeps
we really
looming.
got that shown to us.
Oh, of course. But Mercury as this threat of he will never stop being a killer in the end. I thought
Amos told us so.
Amos told us that, and this episode reinforced it in a way that I did not find to be too heavy-handed. And I thought that Stephen Straight's acting was really well done in that moment there, because he's playing it subdued, but you can tell he's frustrated almost beyond words, and he does want to physically harm Murtry, but he's not going to. He can't waste the energy on this pathetic excuse of a man. And now he has to bear the burden of making everyone on this planet survive. He has to go from people to people to people to people, different groups, different individuals, and make sure that they are on their way to safety, because the shuttle can't come down, they can't go up, so they must go to the ancient alien ruins, as I predicted. Ooh, I feel like I predicted this like 7 years ago. And it's not even about like, oh, I'm smart for predicting it. It's just basic logical storytelling. And my biggest issue with it is, yay, we finally got there. We finally got there. It's like when Bobby didn't accept the offer to join the mob, only for that to then extend across several episodes to get to the point we knew that it would get to, and it was already effectively served why she would. That's how I feel about the alien ruins. We haven't even been to the alien ruins in a while, so Rachel, talk us through a bit more about Ilus, what's happening on the ground in terms of now they have to ferry people over to the alien ruins.
So they can't get off the planet, so they have to get under the planet.
And how do they have to achieve that?
They blow a hole in the door, which was conveniently left open just a little bit.
They have a theory about that.
They have a theory that it was opened from the earthquake.
Or
left open by Miller.
Because he might still be secretly helping them.
Yeah.
I've noticed that the show itself has a lot of characters theorizing, and that's supposed to tantalize me to think about the things like a little mystery or little breadcrumbs or red yarn to pull on. And I can't help but not believe the characters. It's all well and good to have our characters stroke their chins and wonder why things are happening the way they are, but they're in like life and death situations and crises and like these extravagant things, and they just stop so often to just give exposition, to just not be their characters and just exchange dialogue to further our investment in what could happen in the future. Miller could be helping us right now. Well, it could have been the earthquake, and that shows that this structure isn't as strong as we thought it was. Okay, again, I feel like an asshole talking about this episode because I'm hearing myself, and there's this little part of my brain saying, These sound like it should work. Like, what's wrong with that? Why can't you accept that? Why can't you appreciate that? And it all goes back down to, I don't believe these are people anymore. All I see are pawns on a board being moved around. All I see are names on a cue card just stuck on a wall. That's all I see. I don't see Jim Holden. I see the note of the episode must end on Jim Holden boogie boarding his way into the ruins.
Yeah.
Because that would be cool. You know what's not cool? The weird...
them wasting our time?
The weirdness of people no longer get injured.
Yeah, they got the cuts. Murtry's still wearing his leg brace.
Yeah, they got injured then, but what about the scene? This was insane. It was truly insane. They have the earthquake, right? They have the shockwave. They have that dust cloud coming towards them. You said it, the what the fuck from Holden. But you didn't say the thing that happened after, Rachel. What happened after he said the holy fuck, no. What went wrong? What happened? Do you even recall?
No.
They get hit by it. The windows in the room all shatter.
Yeah.
And we see the glass hit both him and Elvie in the face. Like,
Yeah, but
shards of glass in the face.
No cuts, no nothing.
They should be blind. She shouldn't be worrying about eye infection. She should be worrying about how her eyes are shredded. No, they're fine. They're fine. Yeah, sure, all of that exploded and they smashed their head on the ground like at a ludicrous speed because of all of this. They're fine. They just shrugged it off because they're the main characters. Those people outside, yeah, they died because they're nameless things that will add weight to that little orphan that you love, Rachel. The little orphan Annie. Holden, though, he's fine. He's impervious. He's got plot armor. And so does Elvie, because, you see, we can't blind her with glass.
No, because she needs to be there to do science.
And what's the science that she's having to handle? Now you can enter the conversation about the funniest plot line that the Expanse has ever bestowed upon us.
Fucking hell. When she scans her eye with her little, like, handheld device, like, scanning her eye, because she's just like, oh, fuck, my eye is itchy. What the fuck's going on? So she, like, takes it, and then it, like, zooms in, and there's this green goo in her eye, and she's like, oh, that can't be good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just straight up basically use that exact line. They just say it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's meant to be funny. But it's funny because I'm laughing at it.
I don't think it's meant to be funny. I think it's meant to be presented as, that's a problem we can't deal with right now because we have so many bigger concerns, but that's not good. Uh-oh, that's not good. And that's why she's still in the camp, because she's gathering the medical equipment to deal better with the infection that she will most likely carry into the ruins with her, and or whoever else is already got it. The eye infection, Rachel, you just said the summary of like a scene or two of it, but what is this? Like, what is this strand of season 4? They introduced it like last episode or the one before as a thing like, uh-oh, that's going to be a plot for later. Well, here it is rearing its head up again in a much more hilarious fashion. We were both laughing a lot. But like, what is your perspective on this? Like, what is this?
Crap? Is that enough to say? That it's crap? I'm sorry, I really can't with this episode. It gives me so little.
But it gives you actors rubbing their eyes and going, ooh, my eye.
I think
the camera pans over to them rubbing their eye. The music has a little ooh sting
it's
when their eyes are rubbed.
This
ooh.
isn't the same infection that happened on Eros. Because they keep on saying, we don't want another Eros. Is this going to be a new Eros? And we're seeing on the ground that it's not. It's a new problem. Is it the protomolecule? Is it the thing that killed the people that made the protomolecule?
Is it lithium? They're on a lithium planet. Is it somehow related to that?
Maybe.
It's green, so you know it's not the protomolecule because that's blue. Simple shorthand, simple visual cue there. I don't know. This not only feels tacked on, but it's embarrassing.
Oh,
it's an embarrassing.
That they draw attention to it is just.
It's truly tragic for the actors and the production. The way that they tell you that this is something you should keep note of is truly some of the worst that this series has done. This is like terrible. I had a note in the first episode of season 4 that I think some of the new actors, big or small, aren't up to snuff, and I haven't had a problem since that first episode with the actress of Elvie. she hasn't done anything to make me think she's good.
Fine.
She's okay. I don't have an opinion on the character, don't have an opinion on her performance. Outside the first episode, I didn't think she was very good there. This one brought that back. I thought she was god-awful. And it's because it's not the actress's fault. It's this direction. It's this whole entire thing of you need to hammer in the point that this eye infection's going around. So she's just rubbing her eye and going, ooh, and the music stings and there's this ominous quality, but it's just so damn goofy. And it's goofy because they haphazardly have plopped this infection into the story. It just, here it is. And you're supposed to be scared, think about how this will lead to horrifying ramifications in the future. But here's a huge question for you, Rachel. This is a big one. Pay attention, okay? How
I'm making noises. You know that I'm paying attention.
Excuse me. Are you worried for Elvie?
No. Not until she has a big revelation and then she can die.
I don't even think she'll die. I think she'll cure it. But you're not worried for her. Are you worried that she'll go blind?
Nope.
Are you worried that she will die?
No.
Will something be lost if her character is removed?
No.
Now, let me flip it around. If this was Anna, if Anna got an infection in her eye and she was going to lose her sight and maybe die.
Don't you dare threaten her.
Exactly. We knew Anna for basically the same amount of time as we've known Elvie, but one of them was a certified character, someone that the show made whole, went out of their way to develop. The other is a tool to maintain the machine that is the season.
What are you still doing here?
Help me, please.
Do we really need all this?
Yes, this is a biochemical assay deck, and that is a pharmaceutical printer. Trust me, we're going to need them both.
Time to boost our spirits. We're feeling very low and very upset and not at all happy. So, Rachel, how about you make sure that we don't give up and talk about Mars?
How Mars is giving up terraforming and even more people are helping out Bobby's group to take shit from the stuff that they're decommissioning, because I need money. It's rotting in there. So it's totally fine for me to take it.
But the foreman from her previous job was arrested and made an example of. So the system is still trying to maintain the order of yesteryear, but it isn't working.
I took that as her mob boss, set him up for that.
Oh, of course, but I'm using that as just
so it's just like they won't let a crime go unpunished, but they'll make sure that they're not hurt in the process.
Oh, yes.
So it's just like he wasn't in on it, so he's expendable. And it's just like how in organized crime, it's more like low-level people get sacrificed by the organization.
But I don't think my statement is invalid either.
No. I was just trying to add to it.
Everything we see of Mars, the society in terms of the powers that be, rather than the ones that are the people, are trying to reinforce that things have not changed. Even though we get news segments about how the terraforming is going away, that they're giving up, we have all of this propaganda, and his arrest is propaganda. He's being made an example of. He is someone being strung up and told, you cannot profiteer off of us. Mars, be strong. There's all of this stuff in the background of
we
scenes.
see it. And it does tie in because we get the little newsreel that gives us that they're decommissioning this thing, and then it comes back round when the guy, like, we see them do a deal first so that we get the context of how this can go, or what one of the situations that Bobby finds herself in. She goes away, she gets fucked, she comes back to work. And, oh, hi there, person who works and knows security codes for this terraforming thing that they just told me earlier in the episode's being decommissioned. I wonder what's going to happen.
She recognizes he must have served because of certain behavior and knowledge and terminology. But Mars is becoming this decaying star in a lot of ways, and we just with the whole entire thing about how they're decommissioning and that there are these vultures that are selling to the highest bidder, most likely and most definitely the OPA, it does give a little bit of a...
Quite possibly to Marco.
That's it. It gives a thread to the drummer and OPA plot, because Marco definitely has ties to Mars, and he most likely has a direct tie to what Bobby's story is, that her leader, her boss, is most obviously helping Marco achieve and fulfill whatever highfalutin grand plan is in play with him, because obviously Marco's going to be the big bad of the show from this point on. And I like that stuff in terms of the subtlety of it all, because with Mars, we just said, like, they have this propaganda and the stuff about the boss being handed in and the crime boss and how he talks to Bobby and how he tries to play both sides of being down and out and friendly and I can relate to you, and no, I'm a man of extreme principles, and also I love money, and I'm your fucking boss. Don't you dare step past me ever again.
I want to be it all.
And this thing bubbling in the background of everything Bobby's doing is most likely benefiting the bigger players of a war that's yet to come. From a planet that was all about gearing up for a war that was yet to come.
She was saying a lot, like, another war's coming. Just wait.
Mm-hmm. But that's a Martian belief. That's why they haven't terraformed. That's why they haven't progressed, because they've lived in a Cold War state. As soon as they could break free of Earth, they had all of this knowledge, all of this technology, all of these benefits, and they didn't use them. Instead, they sat on their hands, ready for a fight that never really got to be. There were some scuffles along the way, of course, but the big duking it out with Earth never happened, and now it never will, because why bother? There's a universe out there to exploit. I like that stuff. Like, I like this stuff, and a lot of the scenes with Bobby I actually found very enjoyable. Like, I thought she was a very fun presence in this episode. I liked when she
we're back
was
to
breaking...
like the idea.
Oh, really? I like the execution of most of her stuff, like when she's breaking that guy's wrist, and I thought that the actress really got to lean into the comedy there, and it was just like, oh, this is fun, this is spunky, and her relationship with the little manic pixie dream girl gangster, and how they hate each other. They loathe each other. I think that's an interesting and fun dynamic.
Yeah,
like that's good. I'm glued to the screen when they're
clearly
bickering.
Has the hots for the boss, and Bobby's just like, ew. You trying to get in there?
Bobby the thug, Bobby the muscle, Bobby the bruiser. It's a cool concept because wasn't she just that? For the Martian government and military, wasn't she just that? What differentiates her from what she is now? It's a matter of perspective, right?
Yeah.
Because do you find what
she's probably getting paid better?
She's probably getting paid better. Do you find what she's doing now more morally dubious?
No. Not really. More capitalistic, yes. More illegal, yes. But also stuff that she did to help Earth during the war was also illegal by Martian standards. So,
A huge difference is that she was an unknowing participant of certain things as a Marine. She was so indoctrinated, and that you are just a cog in a big machine. Do not question anything else. And once she woke up, she was affronted by it and detested, and she walked away. She had convictions. She stood up and said, "This is wrong." Now she is choosing to do this. She has been backed into a corner. She has been forced in ways, but we see her during the course of this episode enjoy it. She likes it. This stuff is arguably, if not definitely, like openly
it's what
more.
she trained for.
Yeah, but it's more openly morally dubious.
Yeah.
But she knows what she's good at here. She knows the score, or so she thinks. And you see her get so revved up in being her badass self that she used to be, even though the context is different. Before, she was a Marine, a loyal Marine, a hero, someone who was propping up the Martian mission of conquest, of protection, of military might. Now that's all washed away, but she's going to use a lot of that determination and that enthusiasm to be someone who picks at the bones of the thing that she used to protect. And she's doing it because money is good, and more importantly, she likes it. You know what? She likes it more than the sex she had with that man who we don't know much about or care about.
Yep.
She gets off on this plot more than she has any inkling or care or feeling or anything for him. And I think that is fascinating.
We get some more potentially Martian music in the background of these scenes because they're at a bar, clubby kind of situation. That's all.
Only just a production note, nothing thematically or character-wise. Or...
no. Yeah. We covered it.
But she goes on a big heist, Rachel. That sounds
I can
dazzling.
tell you what happened if you want me to do that, but I have no thoughts to add.
Or feelings.
No, I just don't care.
She goes on a heist. Should be riveting. I like heists.
Well, the way that they set up that she's gonna run out of air.
I like capers. I like this stuff. Oh, she's
it's gonna be such an easy score, and then oh no,
there was someone she didn't account for.
Oh no, they changed the security codes. That was the first thing that went wrong.
So she had to step up, prove her worth, go outside, go down here, go up here, go around there in a suit that has very little air, but she's trained. She's gone through worse than this before. And she does the thing, but oh, she's locked in. Oh no, there's a man over there that's locked me in, and she runs out of air and she faints and she wakes up, and her mafia friends saved her, and they're super impressed with her, and they're proud of her, and she did prove her worth.
And they appear to have not killed the guy that locked her out.
They just taped him up.
Yeah.
So they're not that bad.
Because the boss says, I don't kill people. I don't do business like that.
I'm a nice man with happy feelings all the time.
I have been called bad before. Many have said I do things that are not correct to do. I don't believe in such talk as this. I am nice man with happy feelings all of the time.
We move on. Yay. Another setup Ryan.
You sound so overjoyed.
So they send the Tripoli to the ring.
Who does, sorry?
The UN.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry.
We know that they were sending them. But they get there. And they have a curtain measuring
Good.
conversation. Where Drummer is on the back foot, lying, essentially, to them, and they're like, we're staying. Okay, bye. So is there anything that you want to say about that part of this?
Rachel, you are so in love with this episode that you just don't want to spend time on it. I can feel it in you.
Yeah.
This was actually
I
more
just want to
interesting.
go back and rewatch it.
Oh yeah, season 4 is really at the top of my list. It's number 1 season of the show, definitely.
I'm gonna rewatch it out of order.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna maybe.
Who needs season 3 when we've got season 4? You know, midway through season 3, when we got mad that they skipped a bunch of time and started a new book, and it felt like we
rushed.
Not just rushed, but felt like we left behind the really cool parts. That's season 4, baby. That's season 4. We left behind all the cool parts because Drummer sucks. Like, she made her play to
She's a whiny little bitch.
She made her play to let Marco live, and we see her reap the actions there. She's just taking it all in. She's getting fucked over, and she's bad at playing politics. She's bad at being a leader. She's bad.
We've seen this already.
We've seen it when it was far more intriguing with Ashford, who's here, by the way, and he is the one that aptly puts everything together and says, they're going to move in, they're going to stay, they're going to take over. This is just one step in that direction, and if we don't manage this, they will never go. They will stake their claim here. And I thought this was the more exciting's not a good word for this, engaging maybe side of the Drummer story because it is the UNN making their mark.
We've got a cute baby.
Sure.
We got a cute baby floating in 0 G's. I like that.
Okay.
That was neat.
Rachel liked that. Everyone?
I watched it being like,
Everyone liked
it. They must have had like a green screen hand situation. And
yeah, of course.
Just
looping
him about.
I liked it better than if it was a CG baby.
Yeah.
So,
no Renesmee here. Can you imagine if they did that?
But with Ashford's face. But they couldn't get rid of the goatee. Look. The UNN moving in on the ring space because
we knew that it was coming.
And it was because they specifically hate the OPA being there. That Drummer has this ship
they don't want
that doesn't belong to them.
Have control over anything.
And they see,
let alone themselves.
Of course.
And, the control over access to basically the future of humanity is what it's being sold as by Nancy.
I liked the cinematography and the scripting of the UNN's point of view being that Drummer and Ashford and the OPA are nothing but thieves, that they are undeserving. We get this camera shot pan up of the OPA symbol spray painted over the Nauvoo, and that's what the UNN sees. That's what they see. They see what should be, but instead it's been taken over by scoundrels, by pirates, by bandits, by lowlifes. And they are looking inside of this beautiful ship, this ark, the future of humanity, what should have been something greater. And I'm not saying that these officers actually believe in the Mormon cause, but it's the symbolism of it all. And they think this should be ours. Just like Marco says. The inners, they think it's all theirs. They think they deserve it. And that it's all worthy of their ownership because they're the top dogs and we don't deserve a single thing. And I thought that was demonstrated really, really superbly with the cinematography, with the acting, and with the lines of dialogue about it, like with the measuring curtains thing. That was a cute little back and forth between Ashford and Drummer. I'm just sick of Drummer being an idiot when she's in charge, making obvious mistakes or making choices that will obviously lead to drama and like long-lasting consequences that she will have to dig her way out of.
Yeah.
She admitted at the beginning that she was not someone wanting this type of role.
No. She'd earned it, but she didn't want it.
Now, you went through the summary of this and just wanted to ask if I had anything to expand upon or discuss with it and just move on. But is there anything else you want to say about the dynamics changing in the ring to be more what we are familiar with in the solar system at large?
No, it just feels very like no. I don't have anything that I feel like is adding further to this conversation, because what I do think is that it is very predictable for the Expanse, because this struggle is a core theme that has been ongoing, and it's starting to feel a little lifeless. Because it feels like it's the exact same pattern. So I know where it's going to end up.
I feel that so strongly with what the rest of Drummer's story is. That Marco, he lied to us. We knew that he would have lied to us, but he did. And there was a tight beam communication beam that they shut off. Now we have to clean up our mess.
He's working with Mars, so now we're going to try and do this. And he showed himself in the back of a thing, awfully convenient, but it's the only thing we've got to go on. So I guess we're going to go after that ship. And it's just like, well, clearly that's his plan, and I doubt that he's on there.
You made it more tantalizing than it was. They spend so much fucking time with Ashford and Drummer just saying nothing. It's just nothing about how we must stop Marco. Yes, if the others find him, he's a dead man. He's a liar. Who could have seen this? It's repetition. We know this. We got this summed up in the episode he was introduced in. It's reiteration. And if this is supposed to be streaming TV, we don't need this.
We don't need those reminders.
We don't need this fed to us like in 90s television where maybe a season ago or 5 episodes ago, the viewer didn't see the episode that we're referencing now, so we have to really hammer it in.
So fucking frustrating that it has the faults of traditional TV and streaming in the same fucking show.
And yet none of the strengths of both in this episode in particular. It has in other ones, but not this one. The Drummer and Ashford stuff, I was bored to tears. It was probably my least favorite story in the episode.
I myself was not entertained, thus I was just like, they green screened a baby. I was thinking about the practicalities of how they did that effect, not the emotional resonance, not being like, why is Ashford thinking about his son who we've been told is dead?
Daughter.
Yeah.
His child, and the transition of age where he was young and he didn't have the burns, and now we see him with his shirt off as an old man. Half of his body is burnt up, and you don't need it to be said with words, but clearly what he went through that caused that physical damage is what is causing him that emotional damage of his child no longer being here. We've been told this in a previous episode, but again, hand it to the show. They know how to use the show don't tell in this moment, in a moment that will be the thing I think of when it comes to Drummer and Ashford in this. I don't give a fuck. I keep saying I don't give a shit or a fuck or a single care in the world about them just going on and on and on about the factions and about how we had to lie to do this, right. And Marco's dealing with Mars.
Christian being here?
Wait, was she here?
She was here for a minute for them to be like, so we've lost contact with everybody. Well, fucking hell.
Oh, that was it?
That was it.
Not Fallout from the last episode where
no, I don't see that here.
A choice that could cost her the ruling of the UN.
Was that last episode?
Yeah, that was last episode. Wait, did
you mean the cliffhanger didn't really have any influence?
Christian was here as my note, but is my note in the discussion. But I'm now going back over my notes, and every space where I think I wrote Christian, there's just a cross through it. It's like
lost potential.
What are they? I keep asking.
What are they doing?
I keep asking, like, what is this? What are they doing? In disbelief.
Oh,
because we know they can do better than this.
Sorry,
Christian was easily the best character of this show, and they've pissed her away in the wind. And
I want to share a moment of that's unrelated to Christian before you launch into your tirade, or do you want me to wait?
Go ahead.
We saw the inside. What we later learned was the inside of fusion reactors on the ship. And I turned to you and I'm like, are we meant to know what that is?
I shrugged and said, I don't know, it's probably a Miller thing. It's weird.
Because that's what we're forgetting.
Then they explained it.
The fact was that I wasn't interested in it at all. I was just like, am I meant to get that?
Could you explain?
I just wanted to know. I just wanted to know if I was being dumb or the show was being dumb.
Could you explain why and how Christian went from being easily the best character in the entire series to one that does not even make you hold your breath?
All she gets is exposition. Like that. She doesn't get to say anything new. She's not propelling even her own story forward because it's her. It's because of the position.
So if we take the OPA at their word, it means that we have all lost contact with everyone on that godforsaken planet.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not a fan of this episode. I give it a yum.
It's a yum from me too, and I'm interested to see if the one-word titles are continuing.
The next episode is Season 4, Episode 7, and it is called A Shot in the Dark.
Oh my god. Is it? Oh god damn it.
Yeah. A Shot in the Dark. Now,
oh, it's gonna be literal.
We have not.
The ruins, isn't it?
Yeah. Amos is gonna get shot, and he's gonna get his tuchus hurt.
Mercury is gonna try and kill her.
Predictions for an episode we have not seen. We've not seen A Shot in the Dark. So what could it be about? What was given to us in this episode that could escalate in the next one logically? Or what is something that perhaps we haven't seen in a while that could rear its ugly head up again? Or something that's just completely off the beaten path? What do you think is happening in A Shot in the Dark?
Oh, what, you want to cut my theory?
No, like anything more? You just Mertru's going to be a dick in the dark.
I think Mertru's going to be a dick in the dark. I think Drummer is going to shoot that thing, and I think Abyssalaria shooting the ship down will come back and bite her. Those, maybe not all of them, but that's my theories.
Now, a shot in the dark, it could be anything, because I immediately want to go to the ruins as well. But here's my pitch for what a shot in the dark could be about. I think it's going to be about how Inspector Clouseau falls in love with a murder suspect and tries to clear her name.
Okay.
I think that's what a shot in the dark is about. Immediately I thought of that. A Shot in the Dark, arguably one of the best Pink Panther movies. I wish he was here. Could you imagine if he was inside the ruins? Just bumbling about, getting into some hijinks. Oh, some slapstick was had. Burn Gorman falls down some stairs. Oh, I would love that. It's immediately what you said. I think the stuff on Illis will be about them having to survive the ruins itself, the deal with the water that has seeped in, the food problems, the eye infection, Mertry being an asshole, because he made it very clear to Wei that if the shit hits the fan, you better be on my side and kill them all. That happened.
Specifically, you'll kill Amos if I tell you to, right?
Of course I will, sir. I did just kiss him, but yes, of course I will. Oh, I was about. Who cares? Who cares? It's displacement. Who cares? The stuff in the space, I think it will be about how the daughter's ship will start to hit the atmosphere, and the Rocinante and the other ship have to really do some science. Well? Yeah, it has all of the stuff on it. So there's going to be a lot of problems with that. Nancy Gao will somehow win the election or get a leg up on it, and Bobby is I don't know, doing more crime stuff. Maybe her boyfriend finds out, not boyfriend, lover finds out, and they have an argument about it. That's it. Fuck buddy, sure. That's all. I don't have any predictions for anything more in the season or series. This didn't move the needle, and the things it did make me think about is what I have said before, but with an angry tone in my voice. That's it. Okay, prediction. Real big prediction. What is the end goal of the eye infection? What's the end point of that? Like, where does that escalate to? What does that do? And
I'm not even interested enough to theorize right now. I
don't know.
I'm like, I don't think they're gonna do hybrid again.
You think it's like tests?
No, yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that again.
Like, you think the eye infection is like a deliberately manufactured thing?
I don't know. I just don't think that it's gonna transform them. I think that it is going to be some kind of infection.
Just a basic, this planet gave them some virus that they couldn't handle because it's a foreign world.
Yeah.
But what's the end point?
I think it is going to be linked to the proto-molecule.
Okay.
That's why, like, I don't know, is that what killed the makers? Maybe.
My only... Because what do you do with this? Other than, like, yes, you reveal it has some secret connection to some lore, but on a dramatic level, what does that offer? Will someone die from this? Will someone go blind from this? If I had to guess, put a gun against my head, one of the main characters will go blind. Elvie, I guess, she will go blind because of this, and it will ruin an important moment because she won't be able to react appropriately because of her vision impairment due to having green goo in her eyes. That will be my big statement on it. And that is...
Wait. We're assuming that it's going to be negative. what if it's infecting more people to be workers? Like for Miller.
Oh, like maybe they could see Miller
Yeah.
or see what he sees.
Like they're recruiting them.
I don't know. Again, we
That
will
was
have
just
to find out. Do you think Thomas Jane will come back with his
Yeah.
hat?
I do. I think the investigator will return.
The investigator with Havelock will return. Havelock was supposed to be in the 4th season. He was supposed to be in the 4th book. Would this have been a better episode?
Many chapters.
Would this have been a better episode if his dumb little face showed up to be like, oh, geez, who me? Okay, question for the book readers out there, because it does not matter, because Havelock's not in the show. Let's drop the jokes. He's never returning. Does Havelock know about Miller existing in some weird non-corporeal form? Because he had a relationship with Miller. He's the only person that knew Miller before most of the other characters did. So in the book, is there any drama had about that? Is there anything about that, or is it kept separate?
Thank you for listening. If you want to get in contact with us, you can do that on various social media platforms, all of which are linked in the description. But if you want to go the long way round, you can search for yumyumpod or yumyumpodcast and you'll find us. You'll also find us on your podcatcher of choice. If you want to get early access to these episodes, joining the Patreon is the way to do it. If you want to email us, that can be directed to yumyumpod@gmail.com. Anything else, Ryan?
If you're a fan of the podcast, make sure to share it about and give us a rating and review. You can
does help
support us on the Patreon and get these things much earlier, as well as so much other content, and get to be a part of the group Discord where you can chat with your fellow Yumlings about what we've talked here about, or the show itself, or the books, or other things. There's even a channel dedicated to the spoilers that Rachel and I don't get to see because we don't want to be spoiled.
We don't look in now.
And as always, don't spoil this for us because it's not fun for anyone. And this episode, although wasn't fun for us, it may have been fun for you. And maybe the next one will be fun. Maybe the next one will make me sit back in my chair, my jaw hit the floor and say, what was I thinking about this season? It's great.
I have a tick for this episode.
Like,
lots of gripes.
Okay, yes. Not like a disease, like carrying thing, tick, but like a physical, like I'm ticking a box.
Maybe we are going with that analogy. We didn't have Christian's husband.
You think he's like a tick?
Yeah, because he's a parasite on the work that Brian George did.
Ah, true. So what's your positive for...
That he wasn't here.
Oh, that's it? Oh, I see. Well, thank you for the reminder that the new husband wasn't here, but the sad reminder that Brian George isn't here either.
He's a very bad man. He's a very, very bad man.